Hey everybody, welcome back to Mining Modern. I'm Corbin Hostler, and this week it is Friends and Pox. So that's the best name I can come up with. I don't know what we're supposed to call this deck. What this deck is, though, is awesome. It's if you know, back in the day, there used to be decks called Super Friends decks, and what the Super Friends decks were, they started off in Standard, and it was Jace Balerion and Elspeth, and I think a Johnny Vengeant, and so on, and it played a bunch of Planeswalkers. And it was sort of a new way to play the game. You put a bunch of Planeswalkers in play, and that was your way to win. You kind of got rid of the traditional win conditions, the traditional mode of playing the game, and you went all in on Planeswalkers. Now, that's not something we've really seen a lot of in Modern, but this deck makes it happen. So let me walk through this here. At the core, this is all about Gideon, Sorin, and Liliana. All right, so best Planeswalker in Modern, Liliana the Veil, of course, extremely good. But we get Liliana the Last Hope because, and this all works because of the new Planeswalker rule, where you can have multiples of the same named Planeswalker in play. Not the same magic card. So we can't have two Liliana the Veils in play, but we can have Liliana the Veil and Liliana the Last Hope. And this is a change that's only come about in the past month and a half or whatever. It came out with Ixalan. So this works very well. We can have live the dream of having Liliana the Veil, Liliana the Last Hope, and I added this one myself for fun, Liliana Vess. So we've got Gideon in the Trials, and the Liliana's at the 3-drop spot. At the 4-drop spot, Gideon Ally of Zendikar, terrorized Standard for 2 years. Now it's back, making waves in Modern. Now we've got some Sorin here, our Sorin taste. Dose of Sorin, get a little more Innistrad representation here. Sorin, Lord of Innistrad, make a vampire. Give an emblem. Give your creatures +1/0. And, Ultimate's generally good, right? Same with this one. Make a vampire. Help your creatures out. Not an emblem, but still good. You get lifelink. And then again, a very powerful ability for the ultimate. And then Elspeth Knight Errant rounds it out, kind of the original, the throwback here. 4 mana, 4 loyalty Planeswalker, +1 create a soldier, +1 give a creature flying, jump it. It's pretty good. And a really powerful ultimate. Again, makes your stuff indestructible. So the plan of this deck, and of course, I had to play Liliana. This is my own spice. I saw this list in a Modern Challenge. I've seen people playing it locally. It's actually kind of coming around. It's an evolution of the Smallpox deck. And I think I ran Smallpox on Mining Modern, I don't know, 4 or 5 months ago, whenever the deck first kind of came out. And at the time, it just ran a couple Planeswalkers. Now it's really evolved for more of a, it's not really just the Smallpox control deck now. It's a Planeswalkers deck where Smallpox is just its value engine. So I run it up with Liliana Vess. Again, had to get the throwbacks in here. 5 mana, 5 loyalty. Player discards a card. -2 tutor, put it on top of your deck, Vamp Tutor. And then -8, get all creatures from all graveyards into play under your control. So, how do we survive to castle those Planeswalkers and allow them to take over the game? A lot of stuff you might expect. Inquisition and Thoughtseize. These are very good discard spells. Joined by the new staple of Modern, just in the past year here, Collective Brutality out of Eldritch Moon. This card is just so good against so many decks. It's almost never a dead card. This is the kind of thing that really makes control decks more viable in Modern than they used to be because it just simply does so many things. The beauty of modal spells. So Collective Brutality joins the discard suite here. Of course, Fatal Push, and again, the deck probably doesn't exist without Fatal Push. Great magic card. And the Smallpox, because you notice we only play 2 creatures. We play 2 Bloodghast. That's it. So when we play Smallpox and each player has to discard a card, lose a life, sack a land, sack a creature, we know what sacrificing creatures not going to matter to us because 1, we're probably not going to have a creature in play, and 2, if we do it's a Bloodghast, it'll come back when we play land. Of course, then, also good with discarding, Lingering Souls. Obviously, you knew this would be in the deck. It's great. Does everything we want with all of our Planeswalkers, all of our spells. Works with everything. Works with Brutality, works with Smallpox. Lingering Souls, obviously insane. Now, the mana base. You thought we were done getting value, but we get value out of our mana base as well. Shambling Vent, stealthily important because lifelink is real. But also, outside of that, you've got the black and white lands you expect. But here's a cool one. We get Flagstones of Traquair. What this means is if it's put into a graveyard from play, we can search our deck for a Plains card, any Plains that means, and put it on the battlefield tapped. So if we go this on turn 1, and then Urborg on turn 2, now it's a swamp, in addition to being a Flagstones of Traquair. Now we can play Smallpox on turn 2. Now we sacrifice our Flagstones. We get a land out of the deal. They don't. So our 1 Smallpox has the ability to discard a land, sacrifice a land. That doesn't matter. We replace it. Discard a card. we'll discard a Bloodghast or Lingering Souls. Sacrifice a creature. We're not going to have a creature in play. Oh, and yeah, I guess we'll lose a life. So this deck just absolutely breaks Smallpox. We also have Fetid Heaths in here, again, allowing us to convert this and a Flag Zones into a turn 2 Smallpox. So that's the deck. I'm pretty excited about this. Friends and Pox, Pox and Friends, whatever you want to call it. It's going to be a good one. Sideboard, Fulminator Mage for the big mana decks. Damnation for the Go Wide creature decks, Leyline of the Void, and Surgical for the graveyard decks. Another Collective Brutality here. You know, it's good against Burn, which is something to care about. This card's insane against Burn. You kill their Goblin Guide, you discard a 3-mana spell from their hand, and you gain 2 life. But also just another discard spell against control. And then Ruined Halo, and this basically solely exists. I guess it's for a few things, but this is mainly for Valakut, I believe. You bring it in, now all of a sudden Valakut can't damage you anymore, which means I can't redirect to your Planeswalkers either. So Ruined Halo, pretty sweet. And the cool thing about the sideboard here is because we've added this Liliana Vest, now we actually have some more copies of these cards because we can play Liliana on turn 4 and tutor up the Ruined Halo. Maybe it matters, maybe it doesn't, but it's still pretty sweet. I said turn 4, turn 5, sorry. We don't have any ramp in our deck. Turn 5. Stony Silence, of course, rounding it out for the Affinity and Lantern deck. So I'm really excited about this. I love decks like this, and I think this deck's legitimately good. I know I do a lot of decks on here, and sometimes some people love the jank. I get that. That's great. I love playing those decks. Some people want the more competitive edge, where I'm highlighting decks that you can win with in Modern. You can take to a tournament and win consistently, and at a high-level tournament, you know, win a PPTQ with it, right? You know, I played Tree Folk at some point in the past few weeks, and that's a fun deck. You can even do all right at a tournament with it, but you're not going to go qualify for the Pro Tour with that deck. This deck, this exists. This is a real deck in Modern, and I think it's very powerful. So I'm excited to give it a shot. Here we go. Thank you for watching, everybody.